Hello, Maria. I'm Tessie Sagadraka. At the moment, I'm teaching as associate professor in the University of Makati, Philippines. And my paper, my paper is on curriculum design. And that's what I'm studying in my doctorate class, and I'm now in the last stage, hoping to finish everything this year. I'm in the last stage. And my paper is about crafting the curriculum for the Bachelor of Arts in Gender Studies in the Philippines. This will be the first of a kind, so there is a big challenge. And I am so inspired by American University in Paris. And so I'm here right now requesting you to guide me on how can we develop our own Philippine homegrown curriculum
Okay.
for this.
Okay.
May I get please your complete name, Maria?
Sure. I am Maria Medved. I'm a professor at the American University of Paris. I'm also the chair of the Department of Psychology, Health, and Gender. I've been working at this particular university for about 10 years. This is my second year of being the chair. And before that, I worked in Canada as a professor. I'm Canadian and I have my graduate degrees from the University of Toronto.
Thank you so very much. I'm very privileged that you have accepted my invitation, my email invitation to join me in this journey of crafting the Philippine curriculum for BA Gender Studies. Maria, in your university in in AUP, what are the key areas that you focus on for your undergrad course in gender and development studies program? This is a 4-year course, 4-year degree.
Yeah, it's a 4 year, so it's American. So it is a 4 year degree. So when students to come into the university, they don't know which major they're going to pick. Okay.
Okay. And at what point when they are studying will they choose to major?
Usually at the end of their first year. So we have a semester system, so it's fall and spring. Fall and spring. We have some stuff in the summer too, but fall and spring are most important ones. So it's generally the end of the first year that they select. At the very latest, the first semester of the second year, because they have sort of some requirements that they need to to fulfill, and if they wait too long for any major, not just gender studies, it's going to become a problem. So yeah, at the end of the first year, they pick which major. So they might. You just stop me if I'm going off in a tangent that's
No,
not
it's okay.
interesting for you.
No,
Or
I'm interested actually on that point because in offering this, I'm thinking of doing the same thing because honestly, when students come in the university, they are overwhelmed with the different choices of courses that they would take. So giving them first year as tasting time
Yeah.
of which major. So I'm taking down note that you said that the latest that they need to choose is on the second year first sem,
Yeah.
and the earliest should be second semester of first
Yeah,
year.
most of them choose then.
Okay.
They need to choose at that point. So
How many can you recall how many courses? I mean, how many courses? Each course is 3 units, same, or it varies.
well, anyway, for us, we have each course is 4 units,
Okay,
and to
4 units.
get the degree, they have to get 128 credits. We call them credits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing is for students that are coming in, it's again, how do you give them a taste of interest to pick this as a major? And again, if I'm going off, just tell me. So
No, that's interesting. Go.
yeah,
Please
so at
proceed.
AUP, like many North American universities, it's a pretty common
Yes.
style. You have a major,
Mhm.
um, which can be like 10 to 12 courses. Like there's nothing magical about that number, but they have to take, say, 10 to 12 courses. So in every course is like 4 credits.
Yeah.
And then they also have an option to do a minor, and a minor is 5 courses.
Okay.
So if they want to dabble in it a little bit, they'll take a minor. And if they want to really study it in more depth, then they would take a major. So here at the university for the gender program, we have a major and a minor.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the same for actually most of the disciplines. So I think that's kind of a nice option for students.
Very, very brilliant offer for the student.
Yeah, because then they can decide, because they might, I mean, to be quite, I mean, one of the issues is some of them might, their parents might say, there's no way you were going to do your degree in gender studies.
Don't worry, in the Philippines, we also entertain that side comments from the parents.
Yeah, like, you know, you got to do business, or you got to do this,
medicine.
or, yeah, the very serious things.
Yeah.
So by offering a minor, you know, you can kind of get, you know, if they're interested or they're just want to explore, you can still give them a coherent
Correct.
program. It's just smaller, but that's something they're going to take with them when they leave, even if they go into business.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Maria, later, will it be okay if I ask a copy of your course offering, so title, or
I'll see if I can print it off a good version. I'll see what I have.
okay,
Yeah, it's on. Yeah.
or we can exchange email. But I don't like to push you to print it now because you might have another appointment after our meeting.
We'll see how it goes, but if not, I can email you a form, and it is on the internet as well. I can show you the link. That's probably the easiest.
The easiest.
Yeah.
I will just request for the link.
Yeah, just ask me for the link.
Okay.
What else was I going to say?
How do you ensure that the student understood? Now, this is on the assessment side of the courses. How do you ensure that the students understand the gender issues and their relationship to development? How do you?
I mean, and this isn't just the gender studies program, but every course has learning outcomes related to gender. And then the professor is asked to rate the student on their success of those learning outcomes. So maybe one learning outcome could be, I mean, depending on the level of the course, it could be, I don't know, write up a developmental proposal for this village.
Oh,
Okay, maybe you wouldn't do those with
nice.
the
Yes, that's nice.
the little, I mean, with the ones that are just starting, but maybe the more advanced ones might have that ability.
Yes.
And so it's very applied, and then and then professors will say, well, you know, whatever, 75 of my students did that pretty good, and you know, 20%, So it's a way for the professor to kind of assess what they're doing in the class, and also the students rate themselves on those learning outcomes. So you get both the sides, right?
So self-rating of the student
for a learning outcome.
For the learning outcome,
and the
for
professor
the LO.
Also does that.
Plus.
More for the professor themselves, right? So it's a different from a grade. A grade is different, but they're often overlapping.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just curious. Speaking of grades, what is the highest grade that you give in AUP?
It's an A.
It's an
So
A.
A and then A minus.
A plus.
We don't have it. We don't actually have an A plus. I don't know why. It's weird, but that's probably more typical to have an A plus as well.
It's okay.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to kind of say is, like, one of the things that we're kind of lucky with at AUP is the gender studies program is housed like with psychology. It's in the same department. So it gives us a kind of a real opportunity to kind of also infuse some gender issues into traditional psychology courses.
Very much related.
Yeah, I mean, it's related. So, just for one example, social psychology. You can teach social psychology without ever mentioning gender. You
Yes.
can do it, it's easy.
Yes.
Most courses are like that.
Yeah.
Or you can say, um, let's put a bit of gender in this course. Like, we're going to what's called cross list it with gender. It's called social psychology, but let's embed some gender issues in social psychology. So it's still social psychology, but you're putting some gender stuff in there. Or, some social justice stuff. So the students are getting the gender, and it's like it's good for them, and they might not even be so aware of it because some students just go, "Oh, I don't want to know about gender. It's it's just not my thing. I'm not interested." But if you can kind of, it's like children with vegetables, you hide it under something.
You hide it, or you put another flavor on top of
Yeah,
it, so
exactly.
they could easily...
And then they're like, "Wow, this is pretty good." And then that's one way to kind of get to students that maybe they would never take a course called gender. Yeah.
Yes.
So
At the moment, I'm just curious. At the moment, how many students are in the gender studies program?
I mean, it's pretty small. I think we have, I mean, it's not very big. I think we have about 12 majors and this is approximately,
This number of students.
yeah, 12 majors and maybe 10 to 12 minors.
Okay.
So it's not huge.
It's easy to teach them
Um,
because they are manageable.
Well, the challenge is when you have a small cohort. I'm being quite honest here.
Yes,
the,
yes. So
the university wants big classes or
Yes.
larger classes.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to say, are we really going to run a class with only like 12 students, or like they want 25.
25 at
Some
least.
universities want like 100. Like we're a small university, so we don't have that pressure.
Are you open to the thought of internationalization? Like we will have students studying your program and your students studying our program.
Oh
And
God,
when-
we would love that.
And
Yeah.
when they graduate in their diploma,
Yeah.
they will have the seal,
Yeah.
the logo of AUP.
Yeah, I mean,
and
yeah,
University
I mean,
of Makati
I
for
mean, I
internationalization.
think that could be really interesting for both. Like we've done things where we've, not so much in the gender studies, but at the university where we have had even different students in different locations take the same class.
Yes, yes.
With two professors.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's possible, or doing like visiting co-ops.
Yeah, okay.
Is another option, coming maybe for one semester here, and our students would go for one semester.
Exchange student.
Like an exchange, yeah.
Exchange student. Maria, what do you think are the practical learning opportunities in the field of that can be integrated in our undergraduate program of gender?
Not exactly sure what you're asking me. Can you re-ask me?
Practical learning opportunities, like what work can they go
Oh,
to
I see.
career?
I see. Oh, you mean careers, or do you mean during
No, no,
their
sorry.
during?
Field experiences. Where do you bring them? Do you bring them
Yeah.
to communities, to
Mm-hmm.